Good morning, team. Today we're going to work on Chapter 2 in Word, and I wanted you to notice when I downloaded the files that the files are different. Sometimes you have these covered up and you can't quite see what's there. I'm going to expand this out a little bit, and as you can look, you can change between the size names, the dates modified and such, and you can see that the top one is our instructions. And it's a Word document too. And then the next two, the ending in bear and bull, are JPG or picture files. And then our last one is the file we'll work with, also a Word document. So you want to kind of keep which document's what straight. I downloaded these from the compressed file and put them on a folder on my desktop, and I named that folder DOS Word. So let's get started on Chapter 2 Word. Now that we have our files open, our top file here is the file we're going to work with, and our bottom Word document file is our instructions. It says download and open it and name it. Do realize that this number one step is worth 0 points, but now it says ensure non-printing characters. Well, here's something different. Protected view. When you open a document that's in protected view, it's read only. You need to enable editing and then go back and save again so you can work on that document, untype and make changes. I'm going to click my Home tab. I'm going to come all the way across past my editing panel to where the thumbtack is. And when I click that thumbtack, I pin my ribbon. Now, it sometimes is an advantage to unpin the ribbon and have more work space on your stage. But for today, and when I'm teaching, I like to pin the ribbon so I can refer to it while we're working. It says ensure non-printing characters is displayed. You want to be on your Home tab, and you want to come over to the paragraph panel. And at the paragraph panel, you'll see a backwards P. When you click that, notice that you have P's all over your document. You also have little dots between each word. The dots show you that a space was enabled, and the P shows you that a hard return for a new paragraph was made. Here's a bunch of them right over here on the left. So we finished step 1. We're going to save because I saved lots. And we're going to go to step 2. Ensure that the insertion point is on the first line of the document. That would be right here before the word personal finance. It will refer to that at the end of the instructions. But this paragraph up here is in the header and not in the document itself. So I wanted you to understand that the first line of the document will be here at personal finance. Create a paragraph style named title page 1 with these formatting. Okay, so we'll come back and we will do that. But let's go ahead and find title page 1. So we've got our mouse clicked right before personal finance. And we're going to come over here to styles. And it said title page 1. So I'm going to click on pull down styles so you can see them all. And over here is title, right? And look, you've got subtitle, strong, normal, headings. But it didn't ask us for heading. It asked us for title page 1. So we're going to create a style and name it title page 1. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to call my title page style title. And do notice that these are underscores between the words. So you want to go shift and the button to the right of the 0. Page. Underscore again, shift into the right of 0, 1. And it's asking us for formatting. So let's go ahead and go into modify. And then in modify, we still have our title page 1 here. We're going to choose the font size of 22. So right now we're at 12. And a font color of dark blue. So you can see right here we're on black. So we're going to come over here to the standard colors. And when you hover your mouse, it'll give you that exact color, dark blue. and it didn't ask us to do anything. That's still looking black to me. There we go. Now we've got the dark blue. Didn't ask us to change the font type. We go ahead and we go OK. And the new style is applied to the first line of the document, which is our personal finance. So we did step 2, and we're going to save. Step 3. Click in the line below Updated By. So here's Updated By. I'm going to click in the line below that and type the word Laura Sims. So Laura is the person who has updated this file. And it says change the case of Laura Sims to uppercase. So you just highlight Laura. And you come back here to your Home tab, to your Font panel. And then see where there's a capital A and a lowercase a. You click that chevron pull down and go to uppercase. And it capitalizes everything in the area you highlighted. Be careful. You don't want to use this in a communication like email, because capitalization does bring people's attention, but it also can be interpreted online as yelling at someone. We're going to save, and that's the end of step 1. Step 3, I'm sorry. Step 4 instructions say select the document text from the line beginning with personal finance, which is pretty much right underneath where we were working, and then go all the way to the end of the document. What it's asking us to do is justify the text. So that's an alignment issue. You want to come to the paragraph panel and you want to select justify. I want you to see what it looks like right here. It literally distributes the paragraphs so the left margin and the right margin are even. So I'm going to come back and click before personal finance. I'm going to hold my mouse and drag all the way to the bottom of the document. You can see I've highlighted all the way to the bottom of the document, but not at the beginning. Then I'm going to come again to my Home tab, to my paragraph panel, and click Justify. It straightens up that right and left margin, and it's asking us to change the line spacing to 1.5. So let's go ahead and do that. I do want to re-highlight. It came unhighlighted because I was clicking on the instructions. So we're going to come up here to the Home tab, to the paragraph panel, and we're going to click the little pop-out to get us a pop-out paragraph dialog box. When we come over here to paragraph to spacing, we're going to click line spacing, and we want to go to 1.5 lines. Very often, if you're doing an APA document for college, you would want to choose double. But we're being asked to have 1.5 lines of spacing. We click OK, and now you can kind of see how it's a little bit more area between the sentence structures or the sentence lines. And click off, and that's the end of step 4. Now we're at step 5. We've gone ahead and gone back to page 1. And it says place the insertion point on the left side of the title of personal finance. So that's right here underneath Laura Sims's name, and insert a page break. So we're basically going to make everything before personal finance a title page. So we're going to come into the third tab, Insert, and then on the left side you can see page break. And that's not a section break. It took our text that was on the first page and added this page break right here, and then pushed all the text down to the second page. That's exactly what we wanted to do. Good job. Go ahead and hit save, and we've finished step 5. On step 6, it asks us to apply heading style 1 to personal finance at the top of page 2. So here's personal finance. We're going to go back to our Home tab. Then we're going to go all the way to the Styles panel. And you can click the arrow to see them all if you want, but it's asking you to do heading style 1. And you just can kind of hover your mouse till you see all the different types of heading styles. But this is the one we want. For me, it happens to be on the first row, the third column. I click that, and it's at the top of page 2 as requested. and I hit save. End of step 6. Now notice our first heading style for personal finance is bold and in the middle. Now it's asking us to do heading style 2 to the sections Introduction, Equity Stocks. So that's a different one. There's several ones we're going to do here. Bonds. I'm going to kind of go through them one at a time and show you. Mutual funds. So second level headings are like introductions of topics throughout your paper. U.S. Treasury bills. Fixed deposits. Sources. And conclusion. So I'm going to do the first one, and then we'll see if we can group them together. Might be a little bit easier. So let's start with introduction. Here is introduction right here. We're going to highlight introduction. Again, it's not our top heading, it's a subheading. So we're going to do it as a heading 2 style. We come to the Home tab. We move over to the Style panels. And you can see, you can click down and see all your heading styles. But heading 2 is the 4th one on the first row. And we click that, and that has been done. I'm going to go down. And now I'm going to take all those next ones. Here it is, equity stock. I'm going to highlight that and then hold my shift key. And, nope, I'm going to hold my control key. Let's try this again. It's not going to let me do it. I thought it would. Yes, it did. See how equity stocks and bonds are both highlighted? I highlighted them and held the control key. So highlight one, hold your control key, highlight the second. Let's go down and see if we can get the rest. I'm holding my control key. I'm highlighting mutual funds. I'm holding my control key again. U.S. Treasury bills. I have to let go of the control key to scroll on down to the next subheading. All right. Let's see. Oh, it undid them. Huh. Fun. It did not ask. Yes, it did ask us to do sources. Those are not APA, by the way. I'm going to go back up and check. I think a few of mine have unhighlighted. Yep, I'm going to hold my control key and highlight all those that I was supposed to have. And let's see if we can change them all at once. Maybe it'll work. And we already did introduction. So we're going to come back up here to heading 2. We're going to click heading 2 in styles on the Home tab. And as you can see, it changed them all at once. That can be helpful. It's up to you if you choose to, again, highlight and use the control key. So end of step 7, I'm going to save. Step 8 is asking us to modify the heading style to have a dark red font color. I still happen to be highlighted on all but that introduction. I'm going to scroll up to introduction, hit my control key, highlight introduction, so it's highlighted too. So all those level 2 titles are highlighted. Then I'm going to come over on my Home tab, on my Styles panel, and right-click heading 2. We have the choice to modify. When I click Modify, the Modify Style dialog box pops up. And then we're going to come down here. You can see formatting with your font and your text size. We want to come to where it says Automatic, and we want to pick Dark Red. If you come down on Standard Colors, you can see that your far left color is dark red, and it will change each one of those subheadings once we click OK to red all the way through the document. And that is the end of step 8. We're going to save. Step 9, select the 6 paragraphs in the introduction section on page 2. You know, when I first saw this, I was like, what is it talking about? Well, you go back to page 1, which is your title page. Then scroll down to page 2. Here's your introductory section. But what it's talking about is these little highlighted increased paragraph section of equity stocks, corporate bonds, long-term government, U.S. Treasury, mutual funds, and fixed deposits. And it says beginning with that and ending with fixed deposits. Apply a diamond bullet to the selected text. So if you'll highlight those, all right, and then you go to the Home tab, and if you come over here in the paragraph panel, you may or may not be able to see these bullets. You can also hit this pop-up window and do the bullets that way. Or you can come over here to bullets right here and hit the down chevron, and it's asking you to choose the one that has the 4 diamonds, I believe. Use the default diamond that is made of 4 diamond shapes in the bullet library. So once you click that, it'll highlight all those bullets. And very often you see something like this in PowerPoint. Let's save. Into step 9. We've scrolled a little bit further back up at the beginning of our second page to where it says Introduction. And it says select the second paragraph beginning with the best time to prepare for retirement. And that's right here. So we're going to highlight the best time to begin for retirement. And make these changes to your formatting paragraph. Have a 0.6 on the left and right indent. So we're going to come up here to the Home tab, to the paragraph panel. We're going to go ahead and click that pop-up. And right here on the left, you can see you have indentations. And we're just going to scroll up to 0.6. Or you could highlight and type 0.6. And then we want it on the right is 0.6 as well. And it's going to basically squeeze it into a box. And then we want 6-point spacing after the paragraph. So right here, we want to go up to 6. And so it jumps from 6 to 12. We just want 6 after. And that's all it's asked us to do, and that's the end of step 10. Click OK. And you can see how it kind of made it a little box. And very often you do something like this if you were doing a direct quote. This was the second part of step 10. It was on the second page. I apologize. Box 1/2 inch border using dark blue. So you're supposed to come here, re-highlight your justified paragraph that we've been working on, and what we want to do is make a border around that. And I'm going to go to paragraphs, and in the paragraph, well, I'm on the Home tab in the paragraph panel, and then I'm going to pick border and shadings. So I come all the way down to borders and shadings. And we don't want a whole page border, we just want a border around this paragraph. So it says 1.5 inch box. So right now we have a width of 1/2. We go down to 1.5 inch. And then it says pick the color of dark blue. So we do want to apply this to the paragraph. We're going to go ahead and pick our color. I have to go into shadings for that. We don't want to, is this a fill? This is just a border, right? So we're going to shading of dark blue text 2. Shading, fill, dark blue. Apply the paragraph. That seems text 2 lighter 80% 4 column. I don't think we're the right 80% lighter. I'm not sure this is the right way to go, because that's a pattern. I think that's wrong. Let's take off this shading color and go to no color. Alright, so we don't have to worry about patterns. We're going to hit clear. We're going to go back to borders, and then we're going to go back to this main tab. Let's work on the color here. I think that's what it's looking for. We've got our box style at 1.5%, and the color needs to be dark blue, text 2, dark 25%. So we're going to pick this color. And here's our dark blues. That's dark blue, text 2, darker 25%. Nope, dark blue. Let's see if we can find lighter 25%. 80%. There it is. Dark blue, text 2, lighter 80%. So it should just make a background of a dark blue. And we're going to click OK. And then we have, hopefully, it didn't work. Let's try it again. Thank you for your patience, and I apologize. Okay, we're going to highlight that paragraph. We're going to go to the Home tab in the Paragraph panel. We're going to come down to Borders and Shadings. We're going to pick a border, and we're going to pick box. There was my mistake. We're going to pick width of 1.5. We're going to pick color of dark blue, text 2, lighter 80%. We're going to click OK. And there is our dark blue border. Wow, step 10 challenged me. I know you got it. You'll notice we're still on page 2 of 5. On step 11, it asks us to do a default numbering format, like a bullet format, okay? But we're supposed to do that to the 3 types of bonds down in the bond section. So we can scroll down, or we could go Control F and look for it. Let's try that. I'm going to go Control and F. The navigation pulls up. I'm going to type bonds section, and you can see when I do that, it's going to highlight all that are bonds, but it didn't find it. So let's just find the word bonds. And this isn't what we want, but it's highlighting corporate bonds and long-term bonds. But here is our bonds section because we subtitled that with that red. So anyway, that's one way to look for all the bonds in your document. So it's asking us to take the number 4 down for the 3 type of bonds. You've got the corporate bond. I'm going to highlight that, hold my control button next, then long-term government bonds, and I'm still holding my control button, and then I'm highlighting municipal bonds. Alright, so there's our 3 sections. Now look at our font dialog pop-up box. We can change these bullet forms to our numbered form right here just by clicking and picking number, or we could have just clicked right there, and it immediately gives the parts you highlighted their 1, 2, 3 bullet section. You can also come up in the Home tab, up in the Paragraph panel, and right up here, click the numbering bulleting form. I hope that was helpful for step 11. Step 12, select the 3 quotes by Warren Buffett in the source in the equity stocks paragraph. So we've gone back up to the equity stocks paragraph, and you can see it's on page 3. And it wants you to click these 3. Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. I never attempted to make money on the stock market. I buy with the assumption that at the close of the next day it will not reopen for 5 years. I only buy something that you'd be perfectly happy with to hold if the market shut down for 10 years. So I highlighted Warren Buffett's 3 quotes and his source quote by Warren Buffett. And then it says display the text in 2 columns with a line between. So I want to insert 2 columns. And I incorrectly went to the Insert tab. You want to come over here to the Layout tab, so the 6th tab. And you want to go to Columns in your Page Setup panel. And you want to pick 2 columns, but remember it said with a line between it. So we want to go down to more columns, and here's some choices. Here's our 2 columns, but we have the choice of clicking for line between those 2 columns. And then we say OK, and it just makes our quotes into nice little boxes with a second break above and a line between. That should be the end of step 12. Step 13. Insert the picture file exploring wo2 greater bull.jpg. What you want to notice is that word bull. That is the difference between the 2 pictures. One says bull and one says bear. At the beginning of the line that contains the major stock market in the equity section. And that happens to be here. We're on page 3. And we're going to click right at the after the subtitle equity stocks, right before the first paragraph. So we're going to go to insert, and then on insert we come to pictures. At pictures we want to choose our pictures, but remember we downloaded everything to the desktop and put it in the folder Dose Words. I'm going to change the color of that folder so it looks blue, so you know that we're going to the blue cog. So we're going to double click, and because we said we wanted to insert a picture, it's only going to show us the picture file. Again, you can move between the name and the date modified in that folder to be able to see the full names, bear and bull. And remember, we were asked to insert the bull, so double click, and that bull is big. Now that we've inserted the picture, it's asking us to change the height of the picture to 3 inches. So let's start with that. By double clicking your picture, you bring up your picture tool format bar. And you can see over here on the right, we have a size panel. We can change our height just by highlighting what it currently is, entering the number 3 and clicking enter. It immediately resizes our picture. And then it says apply top and bottom text wrapping. So when you click on your picture, you'll get a text wrapping with your picture. I like to put things on top of the text and then resize it to the sides. It wants top and bottom. So if you kind of scroll your mouse around, you can see your different choices of where your words will follow through, in front of, behind. And here we have top text and bottom text. So we just select that, and in this case it's going to throw everything beneath the picture. And that's the end of text wrapping. Next it says align the picture so that it is centered horizontally relative to the margin. There's different ways to do this. What I usually do is just go to my home tab, make sure I've clicked on my picture, and then you can come to position, and no, that's with text wrapping. I apologize. I'm going to go to the home tab, and I'm going to center it with the paragraphs right here. And it is not going to let me do that. Interesting. Okay. Let's figure out how to center the picture. Position, wrap, rotate with crop. Text wrapping, alignment text. Again, I've double-clicked the picture and I've come over here to our layout options. We had it move with text, but I'm going to have it fixed position on page and go to see more. And here you can see your alignment. I'm going to pick alignment center, and I think that'll put us in the relative margins. There we go, right in the center of the page, which it asks us to do. Apply the rounded dialogue corner white picture style. So let's do that next. Alright, so we're going to come up here. Here's our picture style. White rounded corners. This is white rounded diagonal corners. I think that's the one we're supposed to have. And position the picture that appears below equity stock heading. like that. And that's the end of step 13. That was interesting. Nice big picture. Now it's asking us to insert the picture of the bear. So we're going to go grab that bear here in just a second. But it's telling us that it wants us to put it at the beginning of the bond section. So right now we're at the equity stock section. So I'm just going to scroll down. The bond section comes up next. And it says at the beginning of the line that says if you want something less. So right here on the if, and we're going to go back to insert, back to pictures, and it's going to default and bring us up on the desktop because we've already been here once. If not, you can go back to where you put all your download folders. We're going to double click our bear, and he is big. He's behind our chart. And it says change the height of this picture to 3 inches, which is what we did on the last one. So we're going to double click our picture. The picture tool format bar comes up, and we're going to change our height from 7 inches to 3. We type 3 and hit enter, and then it says change the height, apply top and bottom text wrapping. So again, we click on our picture. We know we've identified our picture when we have these dots. It's called a picture frame. If you want to resize the picture, always, if you're doing it yourself, grab on corners, don't grab on sides, so your picture changes proportionally. Again, we're wrapping text on top and bottom, so we look for that top and bottom text wrapping. Now it says apply the offset center shadow picture effect. So here is our picture effects, and it wants us to do offset center shadow. So here's shadow, offset center shadow. I don't think that's it. Let's go down to shadow options. Offset center shadow. Have to figure out where that one is. Picture effects. Picture styles. Well, let me take a look. We'll come back. I'll admit, this was a new one to me. Offset center shadow wrapping. So I went to the search bar and I typed offset center shadow picture effect. And when I did that, it gave me no preset. I'm not sure that was the right choice, but I'm going to go with it. So it was this one. Let's move on. I'm sure you guys are going to correct me on that. Please do. Position the picture so it appears below the bond heading. So we just can kind of grab it and just pull it down. Just right beneath the word, the bond word. Okay. And you'll see that green line's lining you up. So it's straight underneath the bonds. And then we're done with step 14. Hang in there. You're almost set. Step 15 is asking us to check the spelling. And that's a good thing for the entire document. But realize that the author's names are not misspelled. So you do not want to correct their name. So let's go ahead and go up to the Review tab. We are talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Review tab. And come over and click Spelling and Grammar. It says we checked, but they only checked the bottom. So you want to say yes, check the rest of the document. And clarity and concise. We're not going to redo a statement, so we're going to ignore that. I'm going to do the 0 coupon bond one. That sounds like a good one. Guarantee is misspelled. I'm going to go ahead and change that. Accumulation has been telling us it's misspelled the whole time. and we double click and change that, and then our spelling and grammar is complete. It didn't try to change our author's name, so that's good. Let's go ahead and go on down to step 16, display the document in outline view. This is kind of interesting. So we've written this whole document. I'm going to go ahead and close our format text effects. And now it wants you to put it in outline view. So you go to view, you come over here to the left and you click outline, and you can see how it has it kind of like your Roman numeral outlines in a rough draft you would do in school. And then it says collapse all paragraphs. So we literally hit the plus. I'm going to condense this over here and pull this over here just a little bit. All right. We're going to close our paragraphs. So I was clicking around trying to collapse here, but what you need to do on the outlining tab is come over here to show level, and we only want level 1 and level 2. So by clicking level 2, we go down and here's our level 1 for our personal finance, and now we have all our outline levels. We're then asked to move the sources section to below the conclusion section, which is normal. You normally want your references beneath. So we're going to change the way that, so we're going to move conclusion up above here above sources. So I take my mouse so I get the double crosses, and when I drag, see that line that goes across? That line has an arrow of where I want to drop it. So it just moved conclusions above sources. And then it says, so we've done all that and we've closed our paper, and now it's asking us to close outline view. So we close outline view, and then we go on to step 17, which is to save and submit. I hope you found this helpful, and I know you can do even a better job than me. So submit it and see how you did. Have a great day.